start all the system, all system go. Here we
Hello.
go. Hey,
Hi, hi. Very, very nice to see you on another Tuesday live. We're on a
yes,
roll.
I see you on Instagram. Perfect.
Yes. Hi, hi on Instagram. Hi here. We
Hear
are both.
you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So today we have a topic that, and hi, Ali on Instagram. Hello. Yes, if you're
Hi,
here,
hi.
definitely say hi. If you have any questions, of course, put them in. So basically, today we're talking about the topic of illusions. And many people can understand or think with the fact that yes, there's some element of an illusion to life. I think some time ago that was kind of a weird thing to say, and now I talk to more and more people, and they can kind of agree that okay, life has an element of an illusion. But it's almost like, all right, I understand that life is kind of an illusion, but what do I do with that? I still have problems. I still am running into I'm still running into issues. Like I feel like I can't overcome the illusion, right? That's what people generally have. So the topic for today is what's the illusion behind the illusion?
Okay. So the first thing to understand that whenever you have a problem, you have a problem of separation.
Hmm.
What do I mean?
Yeah.
You don't see the pieces.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
moment that you can take something and break it down to its smallest pieces, you actually start to control it. So when someone look at the body as a body and he doesn't understand there's a heart, there's lung, there's whatever, the body is a problem, and you have illusion that called the body. Okay,
Yes.
and they start to believe in superstition, and you heal the body by cutting the nose if you are Jewish. Yes,
There's a lot of no's to cut, so it's all
it's
good. Yeah.
an extra. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you start to understand that there is hearts, etc., and then you start to understand that there is blood, and then you start to understand that there is different parts, smaller and smaller parts, and the more you understand the parts, the better you control the whole.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah. Got it.
Always, problem is a problem of separation. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
in life there is illusion that is something that you create, and then there is illusion, which is more correct, delusion, that something given to you.
I see. Yes. Okay.
Okay. And when you and the reason something become a problem, the reason something become a negative illusion or delusion,
Hmm.
is because you didn't actually look and break it down the whole into its part.
I see.
And how do you I know that it's like that? Because you have a symbol for it. It's a body, but you
Mm.
don't know what it's composed of. You don't have an
Yes.
exact definition of what it means. The moment that you gain the ability to break down the pieces that make the whole and define each one of the pieces, at that moment you become in control. You become you put yourself at control over the thing, and otherwise you are the illusion.
Mm.
Otherwise, you live in a delusion. You actually going to be in effect. Bad things will happen to you. You will have problems.
Yeah.
So life is an illusion when it's good, and
Mm.
life is an illusion when it's bad. Because when the truth is that life cannot be bad unless you make it bad.
Hmm.
You make it bad for you. How do I
Hmm.
know? You take two situations. You take two people. One person think, "Oh, this is the worst guy in my life," and another guy, another lady, fall in love with him. Another person fall in love with him. You take a business, and one say, "Whoa, this is the worst business in the universe." Another person see that is the best business. You send someone to Africa to sell shoes. You sent two people. The one guy said, "There's no business here. No one uses shoes." And the other person said, "Whoa, what an opportunity. No one has shoes. They all need
Yes.
shoes." Are you
Yes,
with me?
yes, yes. That's amazing. I mean, I do definitely understand the idea that, for example, I don't know, I think of a mechanic, okay? A mechanic can take an engine and can separate it down to the screw. everything can be separated out and they know how to fix it because they understand all the parts, and I can understand that. How does somebody do that, or what does that mean with life? Like, what does the parts of life mean that they need to understand this delusion that they're in that's affecting them?
Yeah. So life, if engines are composed of pieces of physical universe particles,
Yeah,
so pieces of metal, pieces of screws, pieces of physical universe particle,
yeah,
life is composed of communications, or life is composed of understandings,
okay.
not
Meaning,
understandings.
yeah,
So you'll see that when a person is dead, he doesn't understand anything.
true.
You cannot communicate with him. I don't know if you tried. Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't work so
Which
well.
means, which means that a lot of people that are dead, although they are not buried. Why? Because they don't understand.
I
Thanks.
see.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
life is actually composed of understandings.
Okay.
So you are as alive as you understand, because if you don't understand something, you don't see it. It does not exist for you. It's not part of your life.
Okay. Yes. I see.
And to gain an understanding with anything, you need to communicate with that. I give you a cell phone day one, it looks like a brick. It actually looked like
Yeah.
a brick, the first few.
Yeah.
And once you
True.
start to communicate with them, at the beginning, there was no understanding. What do you mean? There's not, in old phones, there used to be line. There was not like something like that. And you clicked and there was not dun, 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 dun. You were just waiting. So it was totally different. It was totally different. And if you didn't communicate with that, you wouldn't understand it. So you've got old people that never made it part of their life because they
True.
don't understand it. So it's not part of life. So life is composed of all the things you understand. And if you don't understand something, what happens is that these things stop being part of your life.
Yeah,
And
that's very true. Yeah. Yeah.
how do you make it not part of your life? You make it on a gradient from you said that it doesn't exist, but it does exist. And once you start to communicate with that, it become a problem, because once again, I don't hear the line, or how do you use that thing? It doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it become into a barrier. The difference between a problem and a barrier is a problem is something you consider you cannot solve, and a barrier is something you know you can solve.
Mm-hmm.
And then it become a target that you achieve, and many target that has been achieved together, you have creation. So now, once I really know what it is, I can create new things with that. I can
Yes.
use the cell phone for different purposes, where before I never thought that I can.
Yeah.
So
I
it is
see.
like you want to learn how to play guitar. The beginning, it is you never saw the guitar, and then slowly it become this thing that make noise, and then it's
Yeah.
problematic. It's painful to learn how to do the guitar. The fingers are painful, and it's frustrating. And then you say, I think I can play this. I can learn how to play this piece. It becomes a barrier, and then you know how to play the piece, and you learn another piece and another piece, another understanding, another understanding, another understanding. And at one point, you can create music.
Yes.
And
Yes.
now the music can go live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I understand. Yes. So there's this buildup of understanding, communicating with it, and eventually and it comes under your control, you get results, it doesn't affect you any longer, and there's an expansion
Yeah, there's a
from that
build-up
point
and there's
forward.
deterioration also, the same way.
Yeah, it
You
can go, yeah,
know,
yeah.
and you start to go down because you're doing things that you consider are not okay. So you don't want to know about them because you're really good. So you start to know less and know less and know less and know less and know less, or you start to know wrong, to know wrong, to know wrong more correctly.
I see. Okay, so then what I'm not fully understanding is, so what is the way or the parts or the illusion that people don't get? Like, how does it all break down into parts? You get what
Okay.
I mean?
Yeah. So when you look at life, people don't understand that they don't understand.
Yes.
They don't have a method to realize that they know wrong. The problem is that people never don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You always have an answer to everything.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if this answer is, oh, he is that, he is that. Why? Because there's symbols as a substitute for understandings. So when a person, once you understand that anything that doesn't work for you, anything that is not beautiful, anything that is not amazing, is something that you understand wrongly. It's not that you don't understand. You
Mm-hmm.
understand it wrong. It's not that you don't know. You know wrong. You have a fake reality. You have false data. You have something wrong. The moment that you get that, you will stop the illusion or the bad illusion, which is my life is a mess. My life is a problem. Life is difficult. Life is challenging. All of this thing is nonsense. Life is beautiful. How do I know? I put a gun to your head. You will want to live. So if you want to live,
Mm-hmm.
it means life is beautiful.
That's
Otherwise, you will say, yes, kill me. I was waiting for you. Where have you been? I was waiting for so
yeah.
long.
That's a good point. That's so true. That's super true.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And by the way, Tressa said hi. Hi, Tressa. And she said, "Oh my goodness, you never don't know." Wow, that's true. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah. You
Amazing. And
always know, you just know wrong and when you don't have results.
right.
So the moment that you get that, what you need to understand that in order to realize what's wrong, you need to break the problem. You need to break what you call life, which is not really life. It's an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
When life is not a problem, when life is a problem for you, when life is not beautiful, when life is not the best, most exciting, most wow things that happening to you every second, you need to know that you're not in communication with life. Because if you would, you will realize that, oh wow, it's amazing. How do you get into communication with life when when the necessity level is high, when someone put a gun to your head, and now you're in communication with life, and now you're in
Mm-hmm.
present time. Otherwise, you look at life from the past. That's the illusion.
Yeah. Right. I see.
When you are here, you want to live. Life is the best thing that happened to you.
Right. I see. So how do you achieve that extreme necessity level or that desire to live, but obviously not through having a gun to your head where you're like, please, I want to live, but you do that because, yeah, I want to live.
By realizing that in order to get to an understandings, you really need to learn how to communicate. If you don't have it, it means you don't know how to communicate.
And when you say that, you mean like I think most people when they hear you need to know how to communicate, they're like, I know I'm not the best communicator, but I know how to talk. I know how to communicate. I know how to go around and
You know, they know they definitely know how to make noises, like babies.
yes, yes,
Babies
that's
also
true.
know how to make noises. Yes, it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
mean that I communicate. Yes.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Um,
True.
how do you know if you know how to communicate? It's not by what you feel. It's not by what you say. It's anything. Do you bring result in that area?
Hmm. Yeah.
Result
Okay.
is what you have. So if it's really real to you that you don't have a car, but you have the communication with the car. You don't have a wife. You have the communication with the wife. You can be married, but your wife is dead. So you don't have a wife.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
If you can have a car, you can have a car theoretically. You can own a car, but you don't know where it is. You don't have a
True.
car
Yeah. No,
anymore.
no car at that point. You can't communicate with it. No
You
car.
cannot communicate with it. So what you
Yeah.
have is not the thing. What you have is the communication with the thing.
Hmm. Yes.
Are you with
Yeah.
me? So
Yeah. That ability to reach it, to yeah, to communicate with it.
the end result of a communication is really that you understand it, and because you understand it, you can make it improve the condition, make things more beautiful.
Mm, I see.
And if the understanding don't make things more beautiful, you have misunderstanding,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
is the illusion, because by default, you know.
Yeah.
It's actually more the delusion because you create by putting illusions there. So when you don't know that you create by putting illusions, you live in a delusion. And what is a delusion? That the illusion you created become a problem.
And what do you mean when you say you create by putting illusions there? Because to somebody
Ah,
from the outside, if I say I create, I mean I put something really there. Like I create, that's why it's there. But you're saying
okay.
you create an illusion.
Yeah. Do you agree that anything that we have here used to be an idea?
Yes,
Someone had
anything.
an idea for this pen. Someone had an idea. Even God had an idea to put Adam and Eve there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
He had
always, I
good
mean,
idea
even,
with Adam, not so good with Eve.
yeah. Uh, Adam was great. Yeah. No, but it's amazing because it's true. Even anything you have, if you have a business, first there had to be an idea for the business. Or
Yeah.
if you have a beautifully designed property, first there was the idea for it before it was there.
Yeah. There is
So yes, I'm
everything.
with you.
Everything physical is an idea. Now, idea is not a physical thing. No one can tell me, here is the idea. You cannot hold an idea. You cannot weigh an idea. There is no energy in an idea. It cannot be measured. Yes.
Yeah.
Idea is something that is not real. It's an illusion.
Yes. Yes.
So you can, so you first put the illusion there, and then you make people decide, oh, okay, fine, it is there. I agree. You put the illusion there, and the more the illusion become real for more and more and more people, the more it's become solid. It's actually now you can measure it.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
actually materialize. It's convert from a spiritual particle into a physical particle. How? By creating more and more communication with it. More people communicate with it. It's more people understanding it. It become more real. And if it become more real, now you can bring about good result with that.
I see.
Now, and this is really amazing that the spirit cannot bring about anything other than perfection. And then once people misunderstand it, the good result become bad.
Mm-hmm. I see. Yeah.
Bad is just the deterioration of an illusion into delusion.
Say that again. It's a deterioration of an illusion into a delusion.
Yes, something really good that has been created by
Yeah.
the spirit, and then due to misunderstandings, due to lack of communication, it's either refusal of communication, no communication, enforced communication, misunderstood communication, many ways that communication can break, that actually take something really beautiful and destroy it. You take a relationship between a man and a woman, and now the man or the woman don't communicate something they've done or something they think or something they intend.
Mm-hmm.
You don't communicate that destroy the beautiful thing that used to be called love, and now what you have is a divorce lawyer.
Mm-hmm. I see. Yeah. Got it.
It's applied to anything. It applies to anything. If something become bad, if something affect you negatively, it means you broke the communication with it. So which means that if you want to fix anything, you need to gain the ability to communicate with it. And
Mm-hmm.
if it's not good, regardless of what you say, you're not in communication.
I see. I
You may
see.
talk, you may even touch it, you may even feel it, but you're not in communication. Now, in communication is something totally different than talk, than touch, than feel, than any of those things.
So yeah, what is that higher level? That's like a higher level. It's like to be in communication versus talking, touching, feeling.
Yeah. So in order to understand that, it's something that there is so much misunderstood, or so many misunderstood around the communication, that we're going to do this free webinar specifically for that, to really understand why people have problems. There is a specific reason why people have problems. Once you
Mm,
find the specific reason why people have problems, you'll be able to fix the problems. But you
I
need to
see.
learn. First of all, you have to understand why people have problems, why people deteriorate and deteriorate and deteriorate. Why? Because
Yeah.
you're perfect, and everything, every illusion that you put there is perfect. Every time you met a girl and you fell in love with her, everything was perfect beyond perfect. How does perfection become a divorce?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
come that this perfection, it was not okay, it was perfect, You
Mhm.
will do anything for her. She will do anything for you. She will leave her parents. You will give your money. Uh, you'll do anything for each
Anything.
other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything. You will change your religion. You will change your mind. You don't like movies? Of course, I'm starting to like movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. You'll do anything for her. And 3 months later, you don't love her anymore. You hate
Mm.
her. You cannot stand her, even when you sit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Hmm. Got it. Yeah.
Give me.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And Kapil asked, can you give an example of bad from illusion to delusion? But then he said, yes, got it. So I think that was some good example there of how it deteriorates. So yes, so there's this higher level of being actually what's called in communication. People really have a misunderstanding around communication. They think it's talking, but that's a higher level, and that's something that really has to be understood deeply. And that's basically what you're saying is going to be covered in the webinar that you're doing for
There is
free.
an actual reason for all the problems that people have. Actual reason. And
Hmm.
once you understand what that reason is, what the actual reason is, you'll be able to handle it. And we will discover in the webinar what is the reason, and we will give you the tools of how do you start handling something like that? How do you improve your life? There is an actual reason. And even if I'll give you the reason right now, it will not be real to you because you don't understand the reason, you don't understand the whole mechanism. There is an
Hmm.
actual reason. There is a reason that you have problems. There is a reason that things are not ideal in your life. If you learn what that reason is, it will be the first step into creating an ideal life. Not an
Wow.
okay life, an ideal life. You need to discover what is the reason that take this beauty, this illusion, this love, and turn it into a divorce.
Yeah.
Why this business that was so amazing? You had such a good idea. It was everything. You are sure. This is how I'm going to make it. Became a bankruptcy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Why this friend that was your best friend became your enemy?
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody has those. And it's
Why
the big question. You don't know why. Like, it's almost like you know why, but you know it's not the reason. Just things go wrong. You like you're missing
you
something.
don't you don't know why? Because you still have the problem. You still have an enemy. You still have a bankruptcy. You still have a divorce instead of love. So you
Yes.
don't know why. If you knew why, the problem will go away.
Yeah, I see. I
You
see.
don't know why. That's the
Hmm.
point. You really need to understand that there is something you don't know, that before you will actually realize what it is, you are wasting your time trying to live, because you are actually killing yourself while saying, I want to live.
I see. Wow. Yeah, that's the bitter pill to swallow, but it's the truth of what many people, or I could say most people's life, unfortunately is, even though it's sugar coated and it looks good, but when they actually sit down and look, they have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of problems and areas that they're not in communication with and areas that affect them. So, okay, so tomorrow, July 2nd at 5 p.m. Eastern, there's this free webinar. On the one hand, you're answering that. On the other hand, you're kind of, which I mean, that alone is going to be probably a majority of it is just giving this data that's going to be powerful, period, for anyone. And then on the other hand, there's this 7-day seminar that you're doing in the middle of August in Toronto, and you're going to be talking about that as well, correct?
Yeah. So this webinar is basically, the purpose of the webinar is to really discover what is the problem that take this illusion that you create and make it into a nightmare. Why
Hmm.
this dream, this beautiful thing, become a nightmare?
Yeah.
That's the only thing we're going to do in this webinar. The
Wow.
only thing we're going to discuss, why and what can you do about it?
Uh-huh. Wow.
why
Okay.
why you do something so destructive to yourself. You have a beautiful dream and you insist on making it into a nightmare. Why? What is the reason? Everyone doing it. Everyone doing
Yeah.
it. Everyone doing it. Most 99% of the people don't wake up in the morning and say, I cannot wait for the next day. They say, oh, I had such a difficult day, or I had such a rough week. How do I know they need a weekend?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't need a weekend. I
Hmm.
don't need a weekend. I don't stop working. Why? Because for me, it was amazing. It was exciting. It was the most exhilarating thing that happened. So why should I stop it?
Yeah. Yeah, sure, exactly. Yeah. That's
I
the
don't need a
viewpoint.
weekend.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yes, they need a weekend because they took the dream, the beautiful thing, and destroyed it.
I see.
Why? Why it's
Yeah.
not so amazing? Why do I want to go out to drink out with my friends? I know I want to stay home with my wife or with my work or with the things that I think are amazing.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Are you with me?
Exactly.
If you
100%.
really get that, you know that you're doing something that supposed to help you. You think it will help you, but it destroys you. How do I know? Because you don't want to continue to do it.
Amazing. That's a great indication, actually. Anything, any area that you have any resistance to or that you don't really want to continue to do is an area where your delusion is becoming a delusion. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's all
amazing.
started becoming a problem, a liability.
Yeah.
How can the most perfect, not good, perfect. There is no perfection in the physical universe other than the ideas that you put into them. They are
Hmm.
perfect. How come those things deteriorate into a broken, disgusting bankruptcy?
Yeah, 100%.
That's the question. How come
Yeah.
that you, as a baby, you born and you are perfect. Every baby is perfect. It's like, whoa, the endless possibilities, beautiful, amazing. You take a baby and you leave it in the street. Millions of people will come and help him and feed him and clean him and do anything for him. Why? Because he's perfect. They can see the perfection. You take a homeless person and leave him in in the street, and everyone run away from him. They pay
Yeah.
him to go away. Why do you think they
Yes.
give him money to go away? Yes,
Right. Yeah,
they
true.
pay him to get rid of the disgusting thing.
Yes.
Why is it like that? Why? How come you turn from a baby, someone that everyone wants to help, to someone that everyone will pay to get you away from them? That's
That's
the
the
question.
question.
That's the
Yeah.
deterioration.
Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So I can't wait. I mean, it's like 24 hours from now, a little bit less than that. Uh, I can't wait to find out. I've seen some of the things you're working on, and it's incredible. Um, like, yeah, I don't even want to give anything away. It's incredible. If
Yeah.
anybody's listening, by the way, and not seeing it on the screen, like you're on Instagram, for example, you go to webinar.gprosperity.com. Webinar.gprosperity.com. Register for
Let me
free.
give it
It's tomorrow.
let me give it in a accent that they will understand.
Please, yes, please do. Can you say it, please? Yeah.
Yeah, properly webinar.gprosperity.com. That's a
Oh,
proper
now. Oh, okay.
accent.
Thank you. I didn't understand it. That's good because I needed the webinar transcriber to pick up on what we're saying. So now that you've
Yeah,
said it, I
exactly.
think that's perfect. And by the way, here on Instagram we have Ali that said that's a good point, and there's a user here, Dan. I would love to connect with you both. The Good Newspaper with pleasure. Please DM me with great pleasure. And then we had here Biwi said hello from Munich. Hi, Biwi.
Hi,
And
Biwi.
Avishai said, hello, gentlemen. Thank you for the wonderful light. Thank you, Avishai.
Thank you. Thank you.
This was amazing. And thank you so much for even telling the world about this obvious delusion, but something that nobody really says or wants to confront or talks about or presents as something that they need to know. And differentiating the fact that being in communication is a higher level, much more than talking. And basically, if you don't have things, it's because you're not actually in communication with them, and that's why you don't have them.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You're actually not alive
Hmm.
because life is understandings and you gain understanding by communication. So you'll see that if you're not in communication in that area, you're not alive. There's no life. You don't put life into the things, so they die.
Yeah.
The marriage died, the business died, the relationship died, because you did not put life into them, because you did not understand. There was no understanding. You did not insist on understandings. So it's more than do I have it or not, is do I actually put life into it? You put life into it by communicating with it, by understanding it, so gaining control over it, so you actually can actually put life into it. Otherwise, it is not there from your viewpoint, so you cannot put life into it, even if you initially created it.
Amazing. Wow. So that's really the key to having life force and to having a life in general, is to know this. Otherwise, yeah, I know so many people that are moving but are not alive. And by the way, they're not really moving. Like they do actions, but they don't actually move the needle. There's no life. And so this is the key for life, really.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
So how do you know if
Wow.
you move, if you actually act, or you are being moved unbeknown to you? If you move, you bring the expected results. And if there are no expected results, you have been moved unknowingly.
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm-hmm. I
robots,
see.
there's no results.
Yeah.
Robots don't have results. Yes,
Yeah.
they are moved.
True. Very true.
People moving robots, so they have result. The robot bring result for the person. So
Yeah.
the person that actually control the move is actually the person that reap the benefit.
I
But
see.
if you don't have benefit, it means that you did not move. You have been moved, regardless of how many times you say, I did it. The robot also say, I did it, sir.
Yes, I see. Somewhere along the line, you lose that control, you lose that communication, and all of a sudden you don't get results.
Yeah.
And yeah, wow. And Tressa said, "Oh wow, I'm not actually alive. This point, I'm not actually alive. Wow, yes." And Bella Bacini Designs, which is Carmela, said, "Life is understandings. Creation continuously by putting life into it is everything." Yeah, 100%. And Kapil asked, "Mayor, is there a difference between understanding and understandings with an S at the end?"
Yeah, there's no such thing as understanding. There's
Hmm.
not one understanding that solves everything.
Aha.
It's many understandings that is life. It's not if I understood how a microbe work. Okay, that's it. Fine, I've got life. No, you understood one thing. Life
Mm-hmm.
is composed of many understandings. Why? Because life is composed of many communications. It's not one communication and now, okay, finish.
Yeah, I see.
Otherwise, I would just say hello and you say hello and that's it. I've got full understanding, full life.
Yeah, I see. So it's a buildup of many, many, many
Yeah.
individual things that you understand, and that creates understandings, and that's actually what creates life.
Yeah, and the lie is that people thought that there is one major understanding that you need to have that would change everything.
Mm.
But you will never get to this one major understanding if you didn't have many, 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 many understandings before that.
Ah, I
So if you
see.
take a stone that don't understand anything and you hit it on the head, will the stone become a person? No, but the stone understand the pain
Yeah,
or the broken part. Yes, it broke.
yeah, yeah. The hit it got, but it didn't actually get to the
Yeah,
higher level. Amazing. So there's a series of understandings. Okay. That's super beyond powerful,
yeah,
beyond amazing. And I think even this, where really it opened an amazing topic, this can be watched like 4 or 5 times every time there'll be something new in here. That was amazing. Yeah. Okay,
thank you.
so thank you everybody that was on. Tomorrow,
Thank you.
in 24 hours, there's a free webinar. You can register for it right now, webinar.gprosperity.com. And thank you, Abba. That was wow, beyond wow
I
as
love you, buddy.
always. Love
I
you.
love you. Thank you,
Wow.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.